Every child is born a philosopher. What is philosophy? The word comes from Greek. Philo means love, Sophia means wisdom. Philosophy is not a sect, a tribe, or a ritual. Philosophy is the practice of trying to make sense of reality through clear questioning and reason. It is what every alert mind does before it is taught to stop. My quote: "Philosophy is the art of making sense of things. Religion is the act of forcing sense upon them." The lions, the thunder, and the need to know. Some time ago, I watched a short, interesting video. It was of two lions that were resting. A sudden thunderclap jolted them. First came perturbation, then the search. They looked around, scanning left and right, then lifted their gaze to the sky. Once they identified the source, they calmed themselves and moved to shelter. They restored order in the mind by discovering the cause. Dogs do something similar during a storm. They rush out, look up, try to connect sound with source, and once the link is made, they get back to shelter. That impulse is not worship, it is inquiry. It is the same impulse that drives a child to ask why. Children are natural philosophers. Have you been through childhood? Of course you have. Then you have already been a philosopher. Children ask endlessly, why is the sky blue? Why are leaves green? Why does thunder roar? Why does the dog bark? They ask because they are trying to make sense of the world. What often happens next is tragic. Adults get uncomfortable or embarrassed when they think some questions asked by children are silly, or even when they do not know the correct answers to some of their questions. Many adults use the blanket answer, "God did it." An X factor is invoked to halt inquiry. The message to the child is clear: stop asking, obey, believe. This is how the inner philosopher gets smothered. Philosophy versus religion. Philosophy thrives on open questions and follows evidence to understanding. Religion presents fixed answers and asks for acceptance. Belief is required when there is no direct knowledge. Knowing needs no belief because the truth is seen, or rather, experienced. This is why it is sloppy to call religions philosophies. Philosophy stands apart from creed. Vedanta, for example, is a philosophy, the ultimate one to be precise. It is neither a belief system nor does it have any commandments. It is simply a path already tested by great seekers of truth. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita, not a religious book, a mind management manual. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita does not contribute towards building belief. It helps build clarity. It is a systematic method for understanding one's mind, perception, and action. It shows why we react the way we do, how to examine those reactions, and how to act with insight instead of compulsion. There is not a single shloka in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna asks Arjuna to believe in him, not one. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita leads a seeker towards understanding existence and awareness, not blind belief. It points to knowing, which is direct and does not wobble when challenged. Vedanta, inquiry without compulsion. Vedanta at its peak is non-dual and does not dictate belief. It shows the way for disciplined inquiry until only what is undeniable remains. This is the neti-neti or not this method, similar to the elimination method in mathematics. Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Arshavidya in Coimbatore explained this through an incident in which someone asked him why one should study Vedanta. He replied that one doesn't have to. But soon, when the person's mind is flooded with questions about family, work, or life not going well, and so on, Vedanta becomes essential. It is not to make everything go well, but to give inner freedom, objectivity, and a settled sense of self. The truth is that you are already a questioning being. Vedanta is not about adding new beliefs, but about stripping away illusions. It is the clear and efficient path that helps you stop forcing meanings onto life and start seeing what is undeniably true. Let us have a look at a few practical steps to revive the inner philosopher. When you feel disturbed, identify the source before reacting, just like the lions. Replace the phrase, "just believe," with "let me understand this." Ask, what is the evidence? What are the alternatives? What follows if this is true? Teach children to question safely and precisely. Do not punish curiosity. When you do not know, simply say, "I do not know yet," then investigate. That is strength, not weakness. Why this matters now. A life built on borrowed beliefs is fragile, but a life built on understanding is steady. Knowledge removes doubt and hesitation. Action flows clearly, responsibility comes naturally, and peace is no longer dependent on the applause of others. Every conflict, whether between individuals, in workplaces, or across nations, springs from one source: clashing beliefs. Strip them bare and they are nothing but ideas in people's minds, yet they divide, provoke, and destroy. Children born as natural philosophers are forced to abandon inquiry and obey commands built on beliefs without a shred of evidence. And they call it virtue. A call to action. 3 hours to reset your compass. If you want a disciplined start that respects your intelligence, begin with the ever-relevant Gita, a present-day rendering. About 3 hours of focused listening and you will have a structured map of mind, action, and clarity. No devotional baggage, no ritual checklists, only lucid guidance for living with insight. Start here. Reclaim the child philosopher, train the adult mind, and move from belief to knowing. Remember, thunder unsettles only until you know what it is. Truth and clarity do the same for the mind. Thank you. Stay blessed. Jai Shri Krishna.